Hello?
They're ready for you now.
Okay, 2 minutes. We tend to know what we do well, we know that. What we don't know is what disappoints our customers. To get that feedback, wonderful insight. One of the difficulties with traditional customer satisfaction, where you do it once a year and you get a massive report that tends to go on someone's desk, is that you really don't get to the pearls. You really don't understand what either excites customers or disappoints them.
It used to be the case that perhaps we only found out that a customer was struggling with our products when they cancelled the product and left us as a customer. Now we get an opportunity to find out during their time with us that they might be struggling.
This is dynamic, it's changing all the time, so we can look at a group of customers, see how they feel now, look in 6 months' time and think, okay, things are different, things have changed, are we responding quick enough?
The really key thing is it brings the voice of the customer into the company.
What I've found amazing is that one single question, would you recommend CCH to your friend or colleague? But from this single question we're getting so much information and I'm seeing people get excited about it.
I think that traditionally asking our customers a great deal of questions to try and solve their problems was very inhibitive to us as an organisation, so really for us to be able just to ask one question, would you recommend us? For me, that's a great part of NPS.
On a scale of 0 to 10, would you recommend us to a friend or colleague? Take the detractors 0 to 6, we take the promoters 9 to 10. The net value of that tells us how much customers in our organisation value our products and services.
The Net Promoter Score and the Converse program almost discounts those guys that think you're just okay. And so it gets you to look at the feedback from the customers who give you a 9 and a 10, those who really love you, and it forces you to confront those who are giving you a much lower score.
I make the calls to the detractor customers. It seems like a pretty demotivating task, but actually it's quite the opposite. One of the best things in my day is making the call to the customers and genuinely hearing their surprise that somebody is phoning them back to say, well, not only have we heard you, but we're going to do something to fix that in our system for next time to improve your experience.
And I saw one of our senior clients, a new client that we brought across from a competitor, voice some frustration. I called them up. They were amazed that we'd actually were reading that stuff. So I called him up and said, what's troubling you? He explained, we solved it in about 2 days. He called me back and said, you've got a customer for life.
The passives. Okay, we generally don't use those people in the calculation of the number, but the passives are really important because you can move someone who's passive quickly to be a detractor by not delivering good customer service experience, but you can equally quickly move them to being a promoter by understanding what it is they have issues with.
If you probably confronted them personally, they'd say, yeah, there's basically nothing wrong with the products I have and the content I rely on. But it would be nice to take them beyond that, to give them some examples and some interactions where they can say, not only do I like what I get, in that particular instance I relied on it and it worked for me.
There's 5 characteristics of promoters that are really important to our business. The first is they have high levels of retention. They tend to stick with you. The second is they're profitable. They don't win so much about price. The third area is they grow. They tend to spend more with you. The fourth is they don't put a drain on your customer service infrastructure. And the fifth and most importantly is promoters tend to tell their friends.
Definitely, I think the Net Promoter Score is really a measure of our customer intimacy, how we actually go to market, what we stand for, what we value in the market. It also provides that tangibility in terms of our organisation, our people. If you have engaged employees, you have engaged customers, and that means you have increased shareholder value, which is what we're here to do.
They can see it, they can pick up the phone, talk to a customer, have a really positive connection with that customer, and employee engagement, I think, is going up because of that. It's making people's lives a bit more meaningful because they're seeing directly from these customer comments and this score, hey, we make a difference.
For a long time the editors have sat and written their content but haven't necessarily understood or had contact with how it's received, and this actually gives us an opportunity to engage with our customers more, talk to them about any issues they may have with the product, and that can often lead to us developing new and better ways of doing things within the product.
The last significant achievement was actually getting out to a customer, talking to that customer about her feedback and seeing what a difference it made to her, that we were actually listening to what she had to say, and furthermore we were taking actions to improve our relationship with her and our experience of her products and services.
To read about that they've gone above and beyond the call and delighted a customer, and for the customer to recognise that and take the time to comment on it, very inspiring.
It's always nice to hear some positive feedback from the work that we do. That's why we do this job.
You know, what are the real issues that they're facing, be it compliance, completing work papers, transparency, single source of truth with their data, all these different touch points that CCH is absolutely integral for their Monday to Friday. And let's face it, if we've got smart systems and terrific content, they don't need to be burning the midnight candle each week. Compliance-wise, for instance, they get to go home sooner. So, you know, that's a pat on the back for any brand.
In essence, whatever we do can actually excite them and wow them, and it's about knowing what those trigger points are and ensuring that we are continuously doing that and striving for the best.
Best achievement is actually getting NPS action teams up and running and actually making some differences to the customer experience based on NPS feedback. We've actually made significant changes to the way our research platform in Teleconnect works, the way it displays for the customer.
We're already seeing changes coming from the NPS system over the course of the last few months that are immediately benefiting our customers. And that's something amongst the NPS community that's very advanced. The fact that we are making changes and they're actually being implemented and customers are seeing those in a very short period of time.
We always have so much we want to do in my team. There's lots of new products we want to get out to market, there's things we want to change, things we want to disrupt. And now looking at the themes that the customer's responding to, we can see, okay, they're not loving the registration process, they're not loving billing and invoicing, but what's really making a big impact is search and browse. This is upsetting a lot of customers.
I think initially, just because it's so simple and easy to understand. It's fast, it's continuous, it's really easy to understand, and therefore you have to take it on board.
NPS is about a change in our thinking to me. It's about being truly customer focused. Raw, undeniable feedback from customers is a very powerful tool.
For so long we claimed to be a customer-centric organisation, but now we have real evidence of that.
For me, it's equally inspiring. The fact that someone a customer goes to the trouble of answering a question, saying, would you recommend Walters Kluwer? And they say no, but here's why. I think there's absolute gems in those responses. Because I'm sure you've seen that situation where an angry customer takes the time to voice some frustration, and if you solve it and you solve it well, they tend to stick with you. They become very loyal and they'll tell their friends about it.
I'm really proud of CCH for instigating is I love the idea that when we get a negative NPS result, we are going to task people with going out and talking to that particular customer about the experience that they had, not in a sales capacity. I love the fact that we're going out there to say, look, we actually give a damn what you think.